Hello and welcome back to Create Things. Today I have another dark story about a place called the Smiling Place. So I hope you enjoy and listen to the story. It is very dark. So thank you very much. So let's start to today's story. It's called The Smiling Place. So nobody remembered when the curse began. Some said it started with a sickness. Others claimed it came from beneath the earth, crawling through the roots of the trees and into the foundations of the village. The oldest story spoke of a traveler who arrived one winter night carrying a black sack. He asked for shelter, he asked for food. And when morning came, he was gone. But the curse remained. At first, nothing seemed unusual. People smiled a little more. They laughed more often. Neighbors greeted each other with strange enthusiasm, and the children they played in the streets from sunrise until darkness swallowed the sky. It felt wrong, not because happiness existed, but because it never stopped, no matter what happened, no matter who died, no matter who disappeared, or the smiles remained, and years passed. So the village became known as a place of endless joy. Travelers would occasionally arrive. Few ever left. Those who did could never explain what they had seen, most simply stared into the distance with empty eyes before taking their own lives. Eventually, the roads leading to the village vanished from maps. The world forgot about it, but not completely, because sometimes people still found it, like Ethan. Ethan was a photographer searching for abandoned places. He had heard rumors online, stories of a forgotten settlement hidden deep within the mountains. A place where nobody aged, a place where strange figures wandered the streets at night. He thought it was nonsense, just another ghost story, something that could have earned him views, so he packed his camera and followed an old dirt road that led into the wilderness. Hours passed, and the forest grew darker. The trees became twisted and pale. Then he saw it. A sign, half rotten, barely standing. Two words carved into the wood. Be happy. Ethan laughed. Yeah, very original. He walked forward. The village appeared beyond the trees. Small stone houses, empty streets, and no sounds except the wind. Then he heard laughter, soft laughter, coming from everywhere. Children, woman, man, all laughed. All at once, yet nobody was visible. Ethan felt a chill crawl across his skin. Still, he continued. His camera recorded everything, the streets, the houses, the strange graffiti, smiling faces painted on the walls, smiling faces curved into doors, smiling faces scratched into windows. The deeper he walked, the more he noticed something disturbing. There were no animals, no birds, no insects, nothing alive except the villagers. And then he met one. A man stood in the middle of the road. He smiled. Not a normal smile. His mouth stretched far beyond what should have been possible. His lips were cracked, his teeth exposed. Blood stained the corners of his mouth, yet he looked happy. Greeting, traveler. His voice sounded wet, like something moving beneath water. Ethan forced a smile. Nice village. The man nodded. We love it here. Do people leave? The man stopped smiling for a moment. Only a moment. Then the smile returned, bigger than before. No. Something about that answer made Ethan's stomach tighten. He turned away and continued walking. Every person he met looked wrong. Their eyes were too large, their mouths too wide, their movements unnatural, like puppets pretending to be human. At sunset he decided to leave. The village felt wrong. Every instinct screamed at him to run, so he followed the road back toward the forest. Except the forest was gone, the road was gone. The mountains were gone, everything beyond the village had vanished into darkness. Endless darkness. Ethan stood frozen, his breathing quickened. He turned around, the village remained behind him, but everything else had disappeared, as if the world itself had been erased. Then he heard laughter. The villagers were watching, standing silently in the streets, smiling, watching and waiting. That night Ethan locked himself inside an abandoned house. He barely slept. Something scratched the walls, something whispered outside. And every few minutes he heard footsteps circling the building, slow and patient. So the next morning he searched for another way out. But there wasn't one. Every road ended in darkness, every path returned to the village. It was impossible to escape. Days passed, then weeks, and Ethan began noticing changes. The villagers never ate, they never slept, never blinked, they simply wandered, just smiling, laughing, and watching. One afternoon he saw a woman kneeling beside a well. She was feeding pieces of her own arm to a child. The child giggled while chewing. The woman giggled too. Neither seemed bothered. Another day he found a man hammering nails through his own hands, still smiling, still laughing, like no pain, no fear, and just only happiness. Or whatever remained of it. The curse wasn't killing them, it was changing them, slowly removing everything human, every emotion except joy, every thought except obedience, every memory except the village. One evening Ethan discovered a church. It stood at the edge of the town, older than every other building. Its doors were covered in scratches, thousands of scratches, as though people had tried desperately to escape. Inside he found a journal. The pages were ancient, most had rotten away, only fragments remained. The final entry read, "We discovered the truth. The curse is alive. It feeds on suffering. It forces us to smile because despair tastes sweeter when hidden. It grows stronger every year. We are not people anymore. We are food." The entry ended there. Blood covered the remaining pages, and Ethan felt terror unlike anything he had ever known. The curse wasn't random. It wasn't a disease, it was a living thing, an invisible predator, and it had been feeding for generations. That night the villagers gathered outside the church, hundreds of them, standing motionless, smiling, their eyes fixed upon him. Then their bodies began changing, bones cracked, skin stretched, limbs twisted, mouths widened, the smiles became impossibly large. The sound of snapping bones echoed through the streets, yet none of them screamed, they only laughed. The laughter became deafening. Ethan ran through the streets, past the houses, past the wells, past the smiling faces. The village transformed around him. Buildings bent, windows opened like eyes, doors twisted into mouths. The entire town seemed alive, watching him, hungry. Then he saw it at the center of the village. The thing behind the curse, not the creature, well, not exactly. A massive shape hidden beneath the ground, only fragments visible. Thousands of eyes, thousands of teeth, buried beneath the streets like a sleeping god. Every house connected to it, every villager connected to it. The entire village was part of its body. and it had been feeding for centuries. Ethan tried to run, but the darkness swallowed the road. The villagers surrounded him, smiling, laughing, and just waiting. The last thing he felt was dozens of hands grabbing his arm, pulling him toward the earth, toward the thing beneath the village. His screams echoed through the streets, and then silence. Years later, another traveler found the village. He discovered strange photographs scattered near the entrance, pictures of smiling people, pictures of twisted bodies, and of impossible things. And in the final photograph stood a familiar face, a photographer smiling, his mouth stretched impossibly wide, his eyes empty, his humanity gone. Behind him, carved into a wall, were two simple words: be happy. And somewhere beneath the village, something unseen continued to feed. So this was the story of the smiling place with Ethan, the photographer, and I really hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. So leave a like, subscribe, comment, and we will see us next time. Thank you very much.